Hi there, hello everyone. Today I'm going to present before you what is federal fund rate. This is a very important topic related to interest rate and very important for the forex traders to understand how this works. Okay, so Federal Reserve or the Fed, it is the central bank for the United States. It's called Federal Reserve or in short Fed. Is tasked with maintaining a certain level of stability within the country's financial system. Okay, and for that they have this tool called discount rate. Is the most influential economic tool the central bank has under its control is the ability to increase or decrease the discount rate. Okay, and shifts in this crucial interest rate have a drastic effect on the consumer spending and borrowing. So as a forex trader, it is very important to understand each country's central bank and especially United States Federal Reserve Bank because dollar is the dominating currency, and when they increase or decrease interest rate, then it has a ripple effect on the forex market, and traders can get affected positively or negatively due to that increase or decrease. Okay, so now let's take a look at one example. So federal fund rate, if they increase cost of borrowing, okay, so Fed hikes rate like half basis point or 50 basis point from 4.0 to 4.5, we will see what effect or impact does it have on the market or on the other financial institutions. So this is your federal fund rate, now new rate 4.5 for from 4.0 to 4.5. And then what happens then when banks lend to each other overnight, then they actually add another 100 basis point on top of that. So 4.5 plus 1.0 is equal to 5.5. So this is the rate at which they lend to each other overnight. That's called discount rate. Okay, and then further on what happens then when banks have to give out the money as loans to the borrowers, to the other consumers, then they add another 200 basis point on top of this 5.5, then it becomes 7.5. So this is what it happens when you increase cost of borrowing. When the Fed raises interest rate, it increases the cost of borrowing, making both credit and investment more expensive. So they just increase half basis point, and you see the end consumer actually gets affected by it. Okay, so it actually makes it more expensive for the consumers, for the borrowers to get the money, and the credit is more expensive. Now let's look at the reverse example, or when the federal fund rate decreases, then it decreases the cost of borrowing. So what happens, Fed cuts rate half basis point from 4.5 to 4. Initially or previous slide they increased to from 4.5 to 5. Now it is decreasing. So let's take a look that what is the impact that on the decreasing cost of borrowing has. So this is now the new rate 4.0. It has been decreased from 4.5. Okay, then when the banks lend to each other, they add another 100 basis point on it, and it becomes 5.0. So this is where they uh, transact with each other overnight. When they lend to each other, banks lend to each other, they add another 100 basis, then they lend it on a 5.0 rate. Okay, and when these banks give out the money to public as loans, then they add another 200 basis point on top of 5.0, then it becomes 7.0. So it becomes little cheaper than the previous example. So this is where when it happens, when the Fed decreases the cost of borrowing, then it actually lowers the interest rates. It makes borrowing cheaper, which encourages spending and credit and investment. So either way you have to look at it as a forex trader, whether it is decreasing or increasing, then it have its corresponding impact in the financial market or in the forex market. Okay, all right, now let's take a look briefly when there's a decreasing interest rate and when there's an increasing interest rate, what is the impact, overall impact in the market on the consumers? So for example, if it's a decreasing interest rate, what happens? The decrease in the interest rate by central bank, okay, then members bank can borrow at low rate, okay, and then banks can offer low rates to consuming public and then consumers do buy cheap loans and consumer spending increases. As a result, inflation increases, as we all know. So what happens on the other side if the interest rate is increasing? So increase in interest rate by central bank, and member banks cannot borrow at low rate. Now they will have to pay more to borrow money. And then when they have to pay more, so the banks cannot offer low rates to consuming public, obvious, okay. And then consumers do not buy expensive loans because it becomes very expensive and very difficult for them to buy expensive loans. As a result, consumer spending decreases. So when this happens, then inflation decreases as well. So this is basically a tool. The interest rate is basically a tool to manage and control inflation. When inflation increases, the interest rates are increased. When inflation decreases, the interest rates are increased. So this is how it works two ways, okay. So this is how the central banks in every country use this tool of interest rate to balance the economy and to balance the inflation. Okay, I will stop here. I hope you like the video. I will see you next time. Have a good day. Bye bye.